Okay, so this is the last video in this lecture on demand and supply. And what you see here is pretty much the mother of all models or graphs that you will see in economics, because it is the one that combines demand and supply. And so we have here a demand function, and let's make it a little bit thicker. So the demand function goes from 10 to 10. So here we have a demand function. Which is now the blue line. And we have a supply function. Let's also add this one here. Let's add the supply function, make it in a different color maybe. Okay, so give it a different color, maybe red. So now we have demand and supply, and there's obviously one point of interest, which is always that intersection here. That intersection is what we call the market equilibrium. So in this numerical example, we would say the market equilibrium consists of a price of 6 and an equilibrium quantity of 4. And we just can read that off our graph. And so the beauty of markets is, unless the markets are being distorted by some external interventions, like governmental interventions, let's say, then the nature of markets is always such, and the incentives are aligned such, that there's always a tendency towards the equilibrium price. So let's consider the fact when the price is, let's say, 9. Well, if the price is 9, not many people want to buy anything. And in fact, the quantity demanded is only 1. But at the price of 9, the quantity supplied is 7. Okay, so that means that you have 7 items somewhere in the shelves of a store, but people only take out 1. So that means before 6 items are rotting away in the shelves of a store, the store owner probably will have the brilliant idea that, what may help is to reduce the price. then maybe some people will buy it. So whenever we have excess supply, and at the price of 9, we have an excess supply of 6, because quantity demanded is 1 and the quantity supplied is 7, then by lowering the price, the excess supply will can slowly be dismantled until we reach an equilibrium at 6. And the way you have to think about an equilibrium price is that a store owner puts 4 items into the shelf, and that is exactly what people will buy and take out. But what happens if, let's say, the price is 3? Well, in this case, the price of 3 creates excess demand. So at the price of 3, quantity supplied is only 1, but the quantity demanded is 7. So the way you can think about it is, you go to a store and you want to buy a certain good at the price of 1, but you stand in front of a shelf that says, I'm sorry, we are already sold out. Well, then, of course, you will go to the store owner and say, look, I really would like to have the good, which is no longer anymore available. And then, of course, the store owner will have, again, the brilliant idea to say, you know what, maybe I should increase the price. And then once the price goes up, what happens is that quantity supplied will increase. More producers are willing to sell this good in high demand at a higher price. But at the same time, the quantity demanded will also go down, because at the higher price, less people are willing to buy that good. But again, we will see that we will reach a point, or that we will see a movement towards the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. So it is very natural and fully in line with incentives that whenever there is excess supply in a market, the suppliers will reduce the price, and that will incentivize more consumers to buy the good. And likewise, whenever there's excess demand, that will incentivize the consumers to push up the price, and then with higher prices you will see more producers supplying the good. So this is the heart of economics, and we will work a lot with this graph in the next lecture, and then also expand on it in some very meaningful ways by introducing new concepts like consumer and producer surplus. But for now, what is important is that you have an idea of the law of demand, shifters of demand, the difference between demand and quantity demanded. The same thing about supply. What is the law of supply? What is the difference between quantity supplied and supply? What are shifters of supply? What is the market supply, the market demand? And last but not least, what does it look like when we have demand and supply interacting? What is an equilibrium price, and what is the equilibrium quantity? And what happens when you have excess supply or excess demand? Okay, so I'll just stop here, and but we will still work on a problem set and just review